With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy.
I think we're on.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Justin Martinez. I'm the HR manager here at the Hispano Chamber. This is the second episode of our HR Happy Hour podcast that we're doing. Just to fill you in, if you didn't watch the first, there's a couple of goals for this podcast. The first is for us to have members on and give them an opportunity to talk about themselves and their business and everything that they're doing. The second is for members out there in the community or people that are sort of interested in what the chamber's doing to find opportunities for maybe their business to grow. And, you know, HR is sort of one of those areas that I think is at times for small businesses maybe overlooked. And so starting to think about, as you scale your business, what does it look like for you to think about human resources and what all that entails. So that's kind of why we're here. I'm here today with Emily Howard, who is, let me get this right, the founder and president of Cheetah Strategy. She's been working with us here at the Chamber for some strategy related things, but I'll let her sort of introduce herself.
Thank you, Justin. I'm happy to be here today. Good morning to everyone in this rainy spring day. So Cheetah Strategy is a business I started nearly 2 years ago, and it's a brand and business consulting firm. And the goal of the company is to provide on-call strategic thinking to help organizations turn their ideas into reality.
Right on.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit today about strategy. We're going to talk a little bit about, maybe some things related to how Cheetah's been helping the chamber and so on. And so, and really thinking about how strategy and HR, maybe are not typically associated with each other, but definitely can be
Absolutely.
in any business. And so I'll start by just asking a few questions, Emily. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you started Cheetah, what sort of your path has been to get to where you are?
Sure. So I've been in the brand or business strategy world pretty much since after college. I worked at marketing agencies for a long time and did a lot of brand strategy and marketing planning work for clients in all different industries. And then I took a turn and went to work kind of on the client side. So I went to work for Visit Albuquerque and the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center and ran their marketing departments and their strategy departments as well. And then really found that there was a hole in the marketplace, that people or different organizations needed more access to strategic thinking. They were either it was too expensive for them to do it or they couldn't have a full-time person on as a strategist. And so I found this need to provide people this idea of on-call strategic thinking and just to bring extra brain power to the table when companies needed it. So I started the business in June of 2021. Do about half of my work is strategic planning and doing business planning and helping companies kind of figure out what their goals are for the next few years and how they're going to turn those goals into actions. And then the other half of my business is brand strategy and marketing planning. And that's just really helping people get organized around their marketing goals and what their brand is all about. So it's been awesome. I think the hole that I saw in the marketplace is really there. Mm-hmm. And I really try to provide my clients with just access to that extra brain power when they need it for whatever their problems might be. Maybe they bring me in for half a day just to help them brainstorm. Maybe they have me on retainer and I work with them on a monthly basis on different things, or I facilitate a strategic session with them. It's all different types of projects, and I try to be flexible in my work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know in working with you here at the Chamber, it's been, I don't know where we'd be without you on some level.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Compliment of the year. So I'm assuming your background has kind of sparked the interest in the industry. What else kind of drives you? Clearly, you're of a strategic mind. So what drives you to want to provide that service for people?
I say that the vision for my company is to bring strategic organization to organizations, because I really feel like the hardest part about being strategic in work is just getting organized around it. And I'm a very organized thinker and an organized person. Somebody told me one time that I'm really good at finding order in chaos. And so I've taken that to heart and I've kind of tried to realize that. Yeah, exactly. So, that skill of just kind of being able to see all the different parts and bring those together and help organizations see things differently from the outside just makes a big difference. It's hard to think strategically when you're in the business running it day to day.
Yeah, I would agree. Sort of being in the weeds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes it difficult to see the long-term vision of maybe what you want to do.
Right.
And I know we certainly use you to be that outside sort of pair of eyes that allow us to think strategically and more long-term than just the here and the now, which is tough to do at times.
Oh, absolutely.
But definitely worth doing. How about talking a little bit about your past, how it sort of shaped how you run your organization? You mentioned that you have some experience doing, of course, marketing strategy and strategy as a whole. How has that sort of shaped, or how have those experiences shaped how you run your business and how you interact with your clients?
I try to be accessible to them. I try not to take on too many projects at one time so that I can give the right attention to my clients when they need help with certain things. And also just price my projects in different ways. Some companies can afford certain things, some can afford a different path. So just trying to be flexible in how I work. And every plan that I put together for them has the same foundation, but everyone is different and customized to the client. So I just try to be as flexible as possible and listen to what they really need instead of just offering a cookie cutter solution to everybody and trying to be more specialized to whatever their issues might be or whatever they might need help with.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
Yep.
And speaking of flexible, you come to almost every one of our Monday staff meetings, so that's flexible enough.
Those keep me going for the week, too.
Oh, yeah,
They're very enthusiastic meetings.
They're energetic, that's
yes,
for sure.
They are.
So let's talk a little bit about strategy and HR and sort of how you see things working together within an organization. Yep. How does strategy and HR go hand in hand in your mind, and how do you see, for example, the relationship between us working and moving forward organizations?
So I think HR plays a huge part in strategy, especially not only in the development of what that plan is going to be, but in the implementation playbook that comes out of that and how you're going to make things happen within the organization. So to me, there are two main things that HR can help with when it comes to strategic planning and strategic implementation. One of those is internal communication. I think internal communication is one of the biggest reasons why strategic plans fail or they don't come to life, because the communication between the different people on the team just doesn't happen like it should, whether that's from the top down or the down up, upward. And I think HR could play a big part in the internal communications of all of that. And then also, since HR is all about people, it's important to develop a strategic plan that people can actually implement, and that you have the right organizational structure in place, you have the right job descriptions in place, you have the right people doing these jobs to enforce or to implement that strategic plan. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I agree. People are sort of everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so, it's important. And something that we talked about even before we got here was, what you've worked on even since before I got here and as I've been here with the chamber in terms of building, what our values look like, in terms of building, making sure that we're mindful of our mission and everything that we do, all of the goals that we set, and making sure that we're aligning those goals with the mission and the values.
Yeah.
That kind of work has been very important for us here at the chamber to be able to, quote, execute with excellence with the things that we're doing here. So I couldn't agree more. How about HR partners like myself? So tell me what I should be doing or maybe what I'm already doing or what I could be doing to work with people like you to visualize and execute a strategy to, again, bring that organization into a better space.
Yeah, I think HR is kind of like a consultant within an organization in that they need to remain unbiased in situations and kind of have that outsider's perspective on things. So I think an HR partner in strategic planning helps with that, and that the HR department or HR person can kind of see the strategic plan and how it impacts the organization overall, and also not make decisions that benefit one department over another, or one team over another, or one person over another, that they kind of have that outsider's view too.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a big difference.
No, that makes total sense. And having kind of that, again, that unbiased sort of almost external pair of
Yeah.
eyes on things, making sure that things are equitable, making sure that people are being treated fairly with whatever you're doing, and
Right.
whatever strategy you decide to roll out is,
Yeah.
is important. So, and then for me, on some level, has also been, making sure that we as an organization aren't biting off more than we can chew, for example,
Totally.
or focusing on making sure that people have the ability to have that work-life balance, making
Yep.
sure that they're able to enjoy the things that they want to enjoy outside of work, while being able to still execute their work
Yep.
and do it in a way that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
super important. Let's see. How can HR professionals learn more about strategy, so that way they can implement change in their organization, in your mind?
So, outside resources that help me, and I often send articles from these places to my clients. There's a publication called Strategy in Business that's really helpful. That would be something maybe you want to check out their newsletter or sign up for their newsletter. The Harvard Business Review also publishes really great articles and resources on strategic planning and articles on strategy that I find really helpful. And another thing is just listening to podcasts, I think help a lot. There's several of my favorites. Patrick Lencioni is one of my favorite authors, and he talks a lot about HR-related things and how to build a better team and better people within your organization, and that plays really well into strategy. The Harvard Business Review has a few podcasts that I like. One in particular is called Women at Work, and that's one of my favorites as well. And then Patrick Lencioni also has something called The Working Genius, which we've talked a little bit about. So those are some resources that I use, and that I think they're understandable by anybody. You don't have to have a strategy background to understand what they're talking about. I think it really applies to everyday business for people. So those would be some resources I would recommend.
Yeah, I
people.
agree, and particularly some of those, like you said, Harvard Business Review is huge.
Yep.
I think, and some of those podcasts, they're all very digestible.
Yep.
Even for those of you that maybe don't have a dedicated HR person, maybe you're a mom and pop shop that it's just a couple of people running a business, but you still want to drive strategy and maybe figure out what your vision looks like for the next few years.
Yeah.
Those are great resources, and a lot of times they're free.
Yep.
I think Harvard Business Review gives you like 3 or 4 articles a month for free.
Yep.
The subscription isn't too crazy anyway. I think it's like $5 a month or something.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
it's not. It's not expensive at all.
So yeah, it's good to know that there's resources out there. So let's see. Generally, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of, if you're looking for clients, what are your thoughts on if there's people out there that are interested in learning more about what you can offer, or maybe what support you can provide to them? What do they need to be doing?
Yeah, I think if you're sort of maybe stuck somewhere on something and you just need a little extra push, I might be able to help. Or maybe your company's grown really fast and then you need a little help getting organized around a bigger size of your company. Maybe your marketing feels a little stale and you just need a little refresh there. That's something I could also help with. And I think still coming out of the pandemic, a lot of companies still feel lost and not exactly sure if they want to keep doing what they were doing before, if they need to take a new path. So that could also be something that I could help with. If you visit my website, which is cheetahstrategy.com, there are some examples of some of the work that I do, and that might spur some ideas. But like I said, I'm open to talk to you about solving your problem in whatever way works best for you. I don't just have one solution for everybody. So I could work for half a day if you need it, all the way up to a longer term relationship like I've had with the Chamber, which is over 18 months now that we've been working together, and that seems to be working well for all of us. So
yeah, I agree. Okay. Well, do you really quickly want to plug your podcast? Because I think it's awesome as well.
So I'm a co-host of a podcast called Start Bragging. Anne-Marie Hinton and Alexis Tappan host that with me. And it's a grassroots movement that we started in 2018 to encourage people to be more positive about Albuquerque and speak more with pride of place about this great city that we live and work in. So if you listen to podcasts anywhere that you listen, if you just search Start Bragging, you'll be able to find it. We just interview interesting people in all walks of life and get their perspective on how Albuquerque has made their life better and the impact that our city has had in their life, whether it's a professional life or their personal life. So it's just a fun, interesting way to learn about different people in Albuquerque and also learn about different things to do in Albuquerque. I learn something new every time I talk to somebody. So
Yeah, no, it's really great.
Yeah.
And I love listening to that podcast. So,
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your time
Thanks,
today. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate you and everything you do here at the Chamber, and it's been
My pleasure.
wonderful working with you, and we're continuing to work together, so looking forward to that. But again, my name is Justin, and we look forward to seeing you at the next HR Happy Hour.
Thank you.